In this script, I'm going to show you how to do pagination, just like the textbook does, but I'll be doing it with PDO. So let's apply it on the crud.php that we've been working on this week. So what I'm going to do is open up that file and go into Applications, MAMP, and look for our crud file. There it is. And first thing we need to do is create links at the bottom here based on the number of pages that we would use. So the first thing I'm going to do is come up with an idea of how many pages do we want. Okay, so right now, let's say we want to do 5 links per page. Okay, I'm going to create a variable called num per page that equals 5. And we can fix that later as well. So the idea here is to figure out how many total records we have. And then what we need to do is find out how many pagination links based on total divided by num per page. Okay, so the way to get the total number of records, well, there are several ways to do it. But in PDO, what I would do, I'll call this count SQL. And we'll do select count ID from users. And then once we grab that value by executing and creating a variable that equals count SQL and fetch. Now there are many ways to extract data. This is the one we've been using consistently, so I'll keep it up. And I'll do echo total number of records is dot scalar row 0, because it's the first record that we have. Now let's go into our database and just hit that. So we have 18 records, and that sounds about right. So that's kind of where we're headed. So now we need to create a total link. So I'll do num records, and that'll be equal to row 0, and I outputted it so I know that it works. So the num links would be equal to the num records, divided by the num per page. Now we should round this up. So these are some of the functions you probably have to look up. Ceil will round up the page because I don't want less than all of the records we have. So now I can echo number of page links is, and I'm just doing this because well, I do this a lot when I develop on my own too, not just when I'm making videos, but see, now we have the number of links is 4 because that's 18 rounded up. So, or it's, let's see, it was 18 divided by 5, which is 3.6 rounded up to 4. So now we know that we need to do links like that, okay? So with those records, we have those variables, we should create the pagination underneath each value, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to do a loop. So I'm going to do for scalar I equals, let's do 1, as long as I is less than or equal to the number of links. So I just want it to loop 4 times. I plus plus. So now what I can do is just do a pagination, right? So let's say we did echo and we did scalar I with a space like so. Okay, so remember, these are going to be our links. So now I can test again, and you see down here I have 1, 2, 3, 4. It's perfect. I'll add the previous and next later, but right now I'm pretty interested in just doing a way to pass each page to our values. So I'm going to use a hyperlink in HTML to go to crud.php, and I'm going to create a variable, a query string called start, and that's going to be equal to let's do, the start number should be, let me see here. I think we should do num per page times start. So what we're going to do is, on each turn of the loop, we're going to use the limit tag inside our values. Let me comment this out real quick so I can show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to finish this one section, but I want you to see the logic. Here's I, and I need to make a space, of course, so that the links have some separation. So now I can hit refresh again, and hopefully I get those values. Now if you look, it goes 2 to 4. So I need to make sure that as long as I is less than 1, there should be, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So the number of links is equal to, make sure there's a 4, that's perfect. So why is this going at a little bit of slow pace here? Well, we have our hyperlink and bad HTML here. I need to close out that attribute. So now I have the quote there, and I should see links. There are my links, yay. So in each one of these, you can see I have start 1, start 2, start 3, start 4. Well, the goal here is to use our limit tag so that when we select values right here, we can control each element. So the limit, and the way the limit tag works is you can do ranges, like I can do 0, 5. In this case, I would do that and I get 0, 5. And then I would do, let's say, 5, 5. Okay, and that's a different different section. If I do 10, 5, that means we start at the 10 record, and then we go 5 more. And if I go to the 15 record, remember there are 18 records, and go 15, 5, I should only have the last few, and I do, the last 3. So really, the limit tag is going to have variables here. And it's going to be start and num per page. Okay, so start is going to be the starting point, either 0, 5. So what I'm going to do is say, okay, let's create a page. Let's see. Let's do, since we have our value down here going as start, let's see, it's right here, start equals 1, 2, 3, 4. Scalar page would equal scalar underscore get start. Okay, and the start itself would be equal to the scalar page times the num per page. Okay, so we know num per page is 5, but I can echo, start is dot scalar start, like so. So I can see that I'm passing the right values because we saw when I just did my demo that we could have start and num per page. So now, if we do this, you can see start is 20 because start is 4. There is no start is 4. 4 is 4 times 5. So if I go like this and hit start equals 1, and you can see start is 5, so that's perfect. Now if I do start equals 2, there's the third here. So we are 1 out away. We're 1 behind. So it needs to be 0, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So basically, if no scalar page, then scalar page equals 0. That way, when I start with 0, my limit is 0, 5. So that means that this needs to be 5, 5. This should be 10, 5. This should be 15, 5. But we still have start as 20. So what we're going to do is reverse back a little bit. We're going to do start this at 0 and do it as long as it's less than the number of links. So I'm going to go to CRUD here. Start is 0, That's this. 1, 2, and 3. And now we get all our records except the values here are a little bit off. So what we'll do is we'll have a y that equals I plus 1. And this will be what the user sees. And this is our final version. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what we're doing here is passing it to the limit tag. Now just to show you, again, to reiterate how this works, what I'm going to do is comment out all the start and all the echo statements that I was using to help myself work around this, and all I'm going to do is basically echo out my query. Okay, so echo, this is our query. So that'll tell you how pagination works using the get method. So right now I have select ID full name from users limit 05. This is 5.5, 10.5, and 15.5. And that is how we can use pagination with PDO. The important thing to remember, as I used a count function, that is one of the hardest things about PDO is it doesn't really have the MySQLi numRows that MySQLi offers. It does have a row count, but I find using the function in the query to be the easiest way to get this done. So that's how to use pagination in PDO.